leaving in their wake a silence so absolute even God had a difficult time believing it was real. He rested. When he came to, it was light, and he found he could move again, if slowly and with great effort. He rose and followed the path of the janjaweed, the trampled grass and burned huts and dead things of every description which led due north, and when he again reached the bank of the Lowell, he threw himself into the shallow water and drank greedily and tasted dirt and shit and did not care. Early that afternoon, God entered the refugee camp along a rutted dirt path and approached the only people in sight, an elderly couple sitting together in the dust beneath a tamarind tree. Behind them, the empty camp spread out in clusters of fragile huts made from thatch and torn plastic tarps. "Kudwal," God said to the old couple in greeting. "Are you hungry? You look hungry." The man sat hunched over and asleep, his bare legs folded beneath him like two bent sticks. The woman raised her eyes slowly and nodded yes. God offered the endless sorghum to her. With a hand as black and shriveled as a strip of jerked meat, she reached in and removed a small amount, then held it to her chest with both hands, nodding modestly and muttering words of thanks. "Take more," God said. "Please. There's plenty." Without hesitating, the old woman did so. She placed the sorghum on the ground beside her, grasped and kissed God's hand, at which he, embarrassed and heartsick at the limits of his ability to help these people, demurred, then woke her husband with a rude jab of one bony elbow. "Go find wood and water for boiling," she said. "We have food." With the deliberateness of someone who has learned never to feel too blessed, no matter how good the news, the man unfolded himself and stood up. God watched him recede into the empty camp. "That man once owned 500 head of cattle," the woman said. "Now look at him." "Old woman, may I ask," God said, "do you know a boy named Thomas Moween? 15 years old, but quite tall. He was taken as a slave by the janjaweed many years ago, but he has escaped." "I don't know him," the woman replied, "but that doesn't mean he's not here." "It doesn't look like anyone's here," God said. "Did the janjaweed attack?" The woman laughed, revealing red, toothless gums. "No, not today," she said. "Today, with the big man here, we'll be safe." "Which man is this?" "The Ajak, big man, fat and pale like a mango. He comes to see us from America, wherever that is. Walks around, smiles, shakes hands." From America. God knew then who this Ajak was, and how he might be able to use him to find Thomas. The woman continued, "Tomorrow he goes home." She made a motion with her hand like a plane lifting into the air. "And the janjaweed come back." "Where is he now?" God asked. "On the west side of the camp," the woman said. "That's why you don't see anyone. They're all following him around out there, singing and dancing like fools." Colin Powell hid from an angry sun in the air-conditioned interior of his Chevrolet Suburban. Head down, he spoke quietly into a satellite telephone. A senior State Department official sat on the leather bench seat opposite him, holding Powell's linen Ralph Lauren jacket across his lap. Outside, the Secret Service attachment had formed a tight perimeter around the Suburban. To a man, they wore black boots, khaki pants and vests, mirrored sunglasses, and thigh holsters with Sig Sauer P229 pistols. Each brandished a Heckler & Koch MP5 submachine gun. The agents scanned the singing, ululating crowd of Dinka refugees, exchanged information, and the occasional one-liner, via tiny earpieces, and maintained a robotic, perspiration-free command presence despite the 95-degree heat. With a curse, Powell turned off the telephone. "Tell me something," he said to the official. "Why do I always end up relaying messages through the lowliest goddamn sub-assistant deputy aides in the White House? Why, in almost 4 years, have I spoken directly to that redneck son of a bitch only 3 times? And 2 of those times were at fucking Christmas parties." "I don't know, sir," the official said. "Maybe..."